everyone, it's me, Lindsay, with Equip Me OT, here today to talk about how to dress and undress following back surgery or back injury. Now, this is going to be assuming that you can sit edge of bed or on a stable sitting position with your brace off for periods of time in order to do it this way. So if your restrictions are that you cannot remove your brace unless you're lying down, there's an entirely different process for this. But this will cover most folks. So this is going to be from basically the cervical level and below. So thoracic or lumbar injuries or surgeries, and with a traditional brace like this. I'm going to show you how to get undressed as well as dressed because the order of operation is actually really important. I'm also going to utilize a few tools, very simple ones that you may already have in place because they're very useful in this type of recovery, including a reacher, a sock aid, a long-handled shoehorn, and then one you may never have seen before and is just kind of a bonus tool, but this is called the Mylita lower body dressing aid. So I'm going to show you how this one works too because it's great for individuals who are recovering who cannot bend. So with a traditional back recovery, there's no bending, there's no lifting up above your head, and there's no twisting, all which can be coming into play when you're trying to get dressed. So first things first, where do you start? Most folks don't realize that you should really do your lower body entirely first. So if I'm going to go about changing my clothes, I'm going to start with all my lower body needs first. That way I can leave my brace on throughout the task. This is going to be a lot safer and prevent me from accidentally bending when I'm doing this activity that requires bending traditionally. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. If you are using a mobility aid, that mobility aid will stay with you throughout this process. I'm not going to use it because it blocks some of the view, but you'd want to have that as support if you need it. You're going to sit on a surface that is easy to get up and down from. I choose an edge of bed, but many folks will choose a comfortable chair, or even they'll do it from the bathroom on their toilet seat. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to stand carefully from the edge of the bed, and I'm going to remove the pants I'm changing out of. So this is the assumption of the task is I'm taking my pants off to change into something clean. I would drop them as low as I can in standing like this. I'm going to shake them down a little bit. And then I'm going to sit back down. We're not going to try to remove our pants entirely from standing. A lot of folks who try to do that because they can do it when they don't have an injury or surgical recovery, it's not particularly safe. Now I'm going to grab my handy dandy reacher, and from here we're just going to finish pushing them off my feet. At this point, you can go ahead and use your feet too to help with the process. That's entirely up to you. Then you're going to retrieve the pants off the floor so they're not a trip hazard and set them aside. Next, you're going to remove your socks. I was debating with my husband. I don't know, maybe add it in the comments down below. Do you remove your socks first or do you do them second? But I'm going to take them off now. We decided we both take our socks off after we take our pants off, but you may do it in a slightly different order, and that is perfectly fine. You can see throughout that task, because I had the reacher, I did not have to bend at all. You would also, I forgot to mention, during the pants removal, also remove underwear that are going to be changed at that time. All right, now, I'm not going to start my upper body yet. We're going to fully redress our lower body now. Again, leaving this brace on throughout the process is going to make your life so much easier and safer. Your surgeon will be very pleased. So again, I think we'll start with some pants and underwear. You have a few options for doing pants and underwear. The most standard, straightforward way to do this is with a reacher. If you have the ability to cross your leg like this, comfortably, depending on what flexibility you have, many folks find that this is the easiest way to dress their lower body, but it does require the presence of a good deal of hip range of motion that not everybody has. So obviously, if you can do it that way, that is going to be allowable for most recoveries if you have that flexibility. If you don't have that flexibility available to you, you might need to utilize equipment. One piece of equipment you can use is a reacher. The reacher, you're simply going to drop the pants down to the floor very carefully. I'm putting my camera guy to work here today with all this down to the floor. We're going to pull up the pants just like that. Now, you're going to have to drop it again. Open them wide. This is why having a nice elastic waist is so helpful here. I can't bend, so I got to get these up over my knees. Just like that, we're going to pull them up and then come to a stand. I want to show you one other way you can do this using a tool that you may have never seen before, but it's really nifty. If bending is going to be a permanent restriction for you or something that you're going to struggle with moving forward, which individuals with chronic back pain oftentimes do struggle with this task. So I wanted to show this because for long term, this thing is pretty cool. This is called the Mylita lower body dressing aid. You put the pants through it and you simply roll the waistband around the top of it. You want to have a nice loose waistband. These pants are maybe a little stiff for this, but I think it's going to work. Now, maybe a little hard to see here, but the legs are each separate. These are the holes for the legs. I have a strap here. I drop it to the floor without bending. I'm going to put my feet in, a little finagling here, and then I'm just going to pull on this strap gently up. And check this out. I think this is pretty neat. You're going to undo this. Then, again, this is a stiffer waistband. Maybe a looser waistband would be easier. You're simply going to drop it to the floor. And then, just like a sock aid, you'll pick it back up. So just like that, there's 3 ways to get your pants on during lower body dressing. And you're going to pull them up. Now for socks. Socks, you can either cross your legs and do it like this. Now remember, no twisting, so we don't want to necessarily reach like this. It's best to do it with the hand on the same side as the foot. Or if that is a difficult task for you because of hip restrictions or discomfort, you can use your handy dandy sock aid. These work absolutely great. You're just going to slide it on. Little practice ahead of time will save you some frustration if you've never used one before. The key is getting the toe flush with the end of the sock aid before you slide it over. Then you're going to drop it to the floor and give it a pull, just like that. Sock aids are an awesome, awesome tool for this process. And the last thing you might have to do with your lower body dressing is shoes. So for shoes, you can either utilize a long-handled shoehorn, like this, to open up the heel. These shoes are actually kind of special, and I'll show you why in a sec. To open up the heel and make sure that you can slide it on. Or these shoes in particular are called Kizik's. They're also made by Skechers. There's items made by a brand called Zeba, but they're all slide-in shoes. So they work like a tennis shoe, but they're entirely slip-on. Will change your life if you're dealing with back recovery. All right, lower body is completely done. Let's approach upper body. Removing the brace. I have a video that goes into a great deal of depth of managing an upper body brace like this. So I recommend, I'm going to put a link up here watching that if you need more information. But removing the brace, you're going to simply take it off. Make sure that the brace stays very close to you. And make sure you do not twist when you're removing it. So we're going to take that off. I'm actually going to leave it right kind of next to me, behind me, because it's going to go right back on as soon as I have my shirt changed. Removing a shirt is going to be simple as you're going to, if you have the option of a stretchier shirt, you're going to pull out each arm individually, and then you're going to go up over your head like that, making sure that you're not rounding or bending too much. Now that you're exposed from the top, you're going to retrieve, you may remove your bra as well. I'm a big fan of a front closure bra during a recovery phase like this. You can also use something like a sports bra if it's a kind of a stretchier style. Back closure bras are going to be a little bit difficult to use. Here I am struggling to get my shirt resituated here. I love these bras by Libraire. They are exquisitely designed, and they are a front closure magnetic bra. So as long as you don't have a pacemaker or something like a port that could be interfered with the magnets that are in the front of the bra, these are just incredibly simple to wear and use, especially during these types of recoveries, because they're going to be put on much like you would put on a shirt. So I can actually kind of throw this around my back, and again, monitoring that I'm not twisting, I can put it on like a shirt, keep everything in front of me, keep my shoulders and my hips aligned, no twisting, no bending, no fussing. And then because it's a magnet, it goes on that easy. So if I'm changing my bra or putting a bra on for the day, cannot recommend these front closure bras enough. Now we're going to go about putting our shirt back on. Again, just being cognizant of the no bending, no twisting, shoulders, hips aligned. I'm gonna keep kind of facing forward. I'm looking kind of stiff right now because most people who are dealing with this recovery are pretty stiff. And you can either go one arm, head, other arm, or both arms, tuck the head a little bit, over the top, back down. Again, I'm keeping my body still. I'm not twisting. Pull the shirt all the way down. You want to make sure there's no wrinkles or anything to kind of make you uncomfortable under your brace. And then as soon as the shirt's on, the brace goes right back on. We want to go as short a period of time with the brace off as possible. Some people put the brace on like a backpack. That's kind of how I like to do it. Depends on how flexible you are and how easy your brace is to get on and off. If you have an upper thoracic injury, this may be uncomfortable, depending on how much shoulder range of motion you have. Really going to depend on each user's individual experience. You're going to clip her on. Safe and sound. Once that brace is back on, you can exhale because you're fully protected now. You don't have to worry about getting hurt. Just like that. So there you have it. A fairly easy getting dressed. Oh, I forgot one last step. What am I doing here? What if you need a jacket? If you're chilled, the jacket is going to go on over top of your brace. Highly recommend we avoid heavy full sweatshirts that don't have a front opening. So it's very important to use things like jackets that have either a button or zipper application, and you want them oversized because again, you can slide them on really easily like this over the brace. So just like that. Now I can go about my business of my day feeling fresh and redressed. I hope this video gave you a lot of information that you can use to help you recover from your back injury or surgery. If you have questions or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, if you need more information on how to stay safe and independent in your home and community, consider subscribing to Equip Me OT. Thank you.